Ottoborgo performing for state. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove and leaving? Leaves like the things of man, you with your fresh thoughts careful, can you? Ah, as the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. By and by, not spare a sigh, through worlds of when would leave me alive. Nature's first green is gold, her heart is new to hold, her early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. And yet you will weep and know why. Now no matter, child's name, sorrow's springs are the same, nor mouth had, no nor mind expressed, what heart heard of, ghost guessed. It is the blight man was born for, it is Margaret you mourn for. Everything is dying, the leaves are brown and lifeless, and the clouds are always crying. Autumn is full of endings, beauty passing on, full of pain and pouring rain, and the leaves are red as sin. Is all that we seem but a dream within a dream? My heart aches and a drowsy numbness pains, nor look of the eyes, nor bend of the head, only the hush of a heart that has too much to keep. At some point in our lives, we have lost something we valued, whether it be loss of a loved one, a friend, or maybe even simply losing the comfort of a peaceful mind. Everyone is fighting their own battles, and we are all impacted by some form of sadness or loss. Especially in the midst of a pandemic where we lose people every day, it can be hard to stay positive. We are all susceptible to losing this happiness, and it can be expressed through depression, anxiety, or not being able to find happiness in activity that you once enjoyed. These variations of emotions are told through the poems by Edgar Allan Poe, Emily Dickinson, Robert Frost, Paul Laurence, John Keats, Alfred Lord Tennyson, and others. The piece, Folly of a Flower, demonstrating how grief can manifest and affect people's lives. He stands at the door, back from the hospital, his mind rattling like the suitcase swinging from his hand. On the brick wall beside him, roses and columbine, slung in out of space, claw at the modar. The sun is shining, as it does late in the afternoon, in England after rain. So tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Success circuit lies too bright for our firm delight. The truth's superb surprise as light to the children ease, the explanation kind. The truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind. The sun hardens the house, refines it, strikes the iron grillwork like a smithy, and the sparks fly off, burning the bushes, the rose bushes, while the whitewood trim defines solidarity in space. This is his house. He remembers it is his. He remembers the walkway that he built between the front room and the garage, the rhododendron he planted in the back. He remembers himself, a younger man, in a tweed hat, a man who loved music. But there is no time for that now, no time for music. The first thing that he must do, now that he is home, is decide who this woman is, this old, white-haired woman, standing here at the doorway, welcoming him in. We wear the mask that grins and lies, it hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. As I stare with sightless eyes, beauty they deemed must die. As laden eyes despairs, what is seen is not the truth. You wouldn't fit inside your coffin, but to me it was no surprise. All your life you never fit in anywhere. You saw no reason to be fitting in now. When I was younger, I remember a sheriff coming. You were taken to court because your false teeth wouldn't fit and you wouldn't pay the dentist. I was afraid then that something would take you from me, as it has done now. Death, the bright face and teeth that fit perfectly, a human smirk that shuts me out. And I should know that this shaking keeps me steady, and that the pain still persists by the hope. Yet the storm on the sea, deep and dark, fought way today, oars when mid with the grief of beach and green and shadows numberless, that I might drink and leave this world unseen. Souls shall taste the sadness. We didn't fit either into your life or your loneliness, though we tried, and you did too. I'm still the child who wouldn't fit into the arms of anyone, but is always reaching. I was awkward for years. My bones didn't fit inside my body, but stuck out, like my heart. People used to comment on it. Later, you even blamed me. You said, "You must fit in." But I didn't, and I think that it made you secretly happy, like I am now. You wouldn't fit in your coffin. My mother, after a life of it, says, "This is the last straw." And it is. We're all clutching. If you have endured a great despair, then you did it alone, and you'd watch with serenity through the winters of your grief. As dawn goes down to day, it is a stark gray sky of cloying blue which never wrenched this trust. The true still stirs the warmth, while voids seem to discern the desire. But I hold on to those who favor fire. If I had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Our veins are open to shadow, and our fingertips poised to murder. Reading my old letters, I discover a secret will. It's as if another person had planned my life. Even in the dark, someone is hitching the horses. Now, this doesn't mean that I have done things well. I have found so many ways to disgrace myself and throw a dark cloth over my head. Why is it our fault if we fall into desire? So many invisible angels work to keep the swimmer from drowning. So many invisible hands reach to pull them from the water. Oh, my love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love is like a melody that's sweetly played in tune. So fair art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love I am. And I will love thee still, my dear, till all the sea's gone dry. As your heart goes on a journey all alone, until that coiled tale of tears has reduced to its last drop, nothing gold can truly stay. Until all the sea's gone dry, my love, and the rocks melt with the sun, and I will love you still, my dear, while all the sands of life shall run. But fare thee well, my only love, and fare thee well a while. But I will love thee still, my dear, though it were 10,000 miles. Where words have no confidence, some dead echo drags your voice down. Pain is self-chosen. It is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals yourself sick. Trust the physician and drink his remedy in silence and tranquility. I'm becoming driven away by everyone around, and I'm starting to hear my inner voice. I know inside I have to make a choice. I can't continue living on like this, because after a while what I lost I begin to miss. I look back on the path I chose to take, beginning to realize I made a big mistake, allowing myself to get so sad, forgetting about the good that I once had. Paralyzing force, gesture without motion, the one who explains lies. How can you describe the true form of something in whose presence you're blotted out? No two trees are the same to a raven, no two branches are the same to a wren. If what a tree or bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Darkness, darkness, darkness. Like a shipwreck, we die going into ourselves, as if we were drowning inside our hearts, as if we lived our whole lives falling out of the skin and into the soul. Death arrives among that sound, comes and shouts with no mouth, with no throat, with no tongue. Sunlight reflecting on a broken column, there is a tree swinging, and voices are the wind singing, more distant and more solemn than a fading star. This is the dead land where the dying fly the dead. Here the stone images are received, here they receive the supplication of a dead man's hand. In this valley of dying stars, in this hollow valley, this broken jaw of our lost kingdoms. It seems that its singing has the color of damp violets, violets that are home in the earth. For the face of death is green, and the look death gives is green, with the silent dampness of a violet leaf, and the somber color of an embedded winter. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass comes. Love alters not within brief hours or weeks, but bears it out, even to the end of doom. Perhaps if death is kind, there can be returning. We can come back to earth some fragrant night, and take these lanes to find the sea, and bending, breathe the same honeysuckle low and white. We will come down at night to these resounding beaches, with the long, gentle fun of the sea. Here for a single hour in the wide starlight, we shall be happy, for the dead are free. To the ignorant it is but a wonder, where youth grows pale, spectre thin, and dies. For the fear of death had blown out life the way a witch blows out a lamp. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper.